So good afternoon, everyone. You're welcome to YGLN MasterClass. This afternoon, we have Ms. Judy Akotia, who would be taking us through redefining equality. Yes. So Ms. Judy is the founder of She Tech It Africa, and today she will be our guest lecturer for this third webinar that we are currently having. And the topic is on redefining equality, transformative leadership through collaboration. So, Ms. Trudy, without much ado, I would like you to introduce yourself and commence our meeting for us. Thank you.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Judy Akotia. I'm a product designer at Heidelberg Materials Digital Hub, Ghana. I'm also a product manager at CETA that's based in Canada, and also the founder of Shiteke Africa, which is like an initiative and a community that we empower women, we train and mentor them into tech. So we offer them mentorship training workshops. Currently, we have close to 300 women in our care, and we are trying our utmost best to, drive them into the tech force. Yeah, and I'm happy to be here as well. Thank you.
So, Ms. Trudy, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So let me just share my screen. Okay. Um, so yes, thank you for having me. And I was given this topic that was redefining equality and transformative leadership through collaboration. And I give it a small description of unlocking the power of inclusive and collaborative leadership. Um, so let me just continue with that. Okay, so I think I've already introduced myself and what I do. Um, like I was saying, my name is Trudy Akotia, and yeah, I'm the founder and CEO of Shiteke Africa. And yes, like I explained earlier, we mentor and train girls, and we try to help those who want to move into tech. Yes, so that is what we do. So I'll just dive straight up into today's conversation. And then, if you have any questions here, you can hit me up. I would love it if it's a conversation more than just me presenting. Thank you. So I will begin with telling a story. And the story entails where we have two um, captains. And in these two captains, so we have Captain Roberts, that's the my way or the highway leader, and we have Captain Evans, that's the leader who listens. So let's imagine this. This two captains having their own ship, and then we have a storm coming up. So Captain Roberts ran to his ship and is like a dictator, right? Every decision was his alone. His crews just follow his orders without questioning. And because they trusted him, let's say first of all, they won't even trust him because he's just dictating, right? He doesn't allow you bring up your input. He doesn't want your ideas. He wants to be the only one who says the final yes. And because of that, most of his crew members were definitely afraid of him. They were scared and terrified to speak up. So when a storm comes up and the waves crash, the ship is in real danger, the crew members saw a problem. They saw that the sails were tearing, water is leaking, but nobody dares to talk about it. And they knew he won't listen to them. So, why should I talk or tell you what the problem is? Now, the result is that, yeah, this happened and then the ship sank. It sank, right? And not because they weren't talented or skilled, but because they weren't allowed to think for themselves. Or let's say they weren't allowed to do or bring up solutions because they had a dictator for a leadership. But now let's look at Captain Evans here. So Captain Evans is a leader who listens, right? His is totally different from what we have with Captain Roberts. And his is he trusts his team and his team members trust him. So if there's a storm hitting, he gathers them and is like, okay, what are the options? What can we do? Then you have all crew members bringing up, what they can do to help to prevent the storm from crashing or sinking their ship. Right. So he goes with them, and then now someone is like, okay, I can take care of the seal, I can take care of the engineering part, I can make sure the water is not leaking. So you have everybody doing something. Now the result is that the crew worked together and made a quick decision, and this saved the ship. So meaning they didn't sink, everybody survived, and the top up was that they came out stronger. So why this matters, or why I'm bringing this story up to you, is because leadership is not about power. It's about, first of all, empowering others around you, letting others feel like they can tell or give solutions to problems, making them feel very important as well. So I mean, I'm sure most of us here are leaders. We have probably our own organizations we are running. Sometimes you feel like, yes, you want to take decisions for yourself, um, because you are the leader, so you want to take it for the lead, for your organization. But then there is a lot of power in collaboration. There's a lot of power in asking, um, your colleagues, your employees, hey, how can we solve this problem, right? And that is the power of leadership. So now the real question here is that, do you want to be a Captain Roberts? So the real question here is, do you want to be a Captain Roberts, the leader who sings alone, or you want to be Captain Evans, the leader who trusts and collaborates and leads his team to success? And that is why this question is here. This topic is very important for us to discuss. And we're looking at redefining equality and collaboration and transformative leadership. So I'm definitely going to break it down into three. And let me just go to that. So in these three concepts, I've broken this down. So we have the redefining equality, we have a transformative leadership, and a collaboration as a driving workforce. I mean, when I was giving the topic, I was looking at the vast range of um, goals that we have to derive from this and what exactly we are looking at. And I realized that, okay, let's take it, bit by bit, and then we can understand each and every concept and what it brings. So first we'll look at redefining equality. And the first thing is, what is equality? So here it says that equality means treating everyone equally, giving all individuals the same rights, opportunities, resources, regardless of their background and identity or circumstances. And it is based on the idea that everyone should have equal chance to succeed. Okay, now I need to ask, who is in support of this? If you're in support, just you can raise up your hands or give me the reason why you're in support of this. Anyone?
I'm in full support because I mean it speaks volumes when people reach out to people other than themselves, and a lot is achieved because, as the saying goes, I mean, there's power in diversity.
Hmm. Okay.
But that's what I believe in.
All right. Um, it's true that maybe there is a positive side at giving everyone the same opportunity and giving everyone the same rights and resources regardless of their background. However, equality does not always lead to fairness, right? Because not everyone starts from the same place and not everyone is facing the same challenges. And for example, in equality in leadership, we are looking at imagining giving every individual or giving every employee the same training, the same resources, the same expectation without considering their unique skills and their backgrounds or their challenges. I mean, they always say all the fingers are not the same, right? Some are shorter, some are longer. So if we have employees, we are looking at, okay, what can this particular employee bring to the table? That is why equality, we are here to redefine that statement, equality. So we want leaders or business owners to know that we should give these people, our employees, resources based on their skills and how they can, contribute to your company or contribute to your growth or success, right? So we have to make sure that you look at what they can bring to the table and the type of resources you have to give to them or the type of expectation you have from them. And that is why redefining equality is very important here. I mean, and right now there's a lot of companies that are looking at um, employees and asking, okay, what can you do? What kind of skills do you have? And how can I better the skills you have so that you can also benefit my company, right? It will also benefit my company. We are not going to look at everybody on the same level and be like, okay, yeah, let's give everybody the same resources, and then give me exactly what I want, right? Without looking at the kind of skills they have, or even sometimes some of them have greater skills than maybe you might perceive. So, what kind of skills are you giving to them, right? Or what kind of skills are they getting or contributing to your company? And that is what we meant by. And this brings me to the topic equity. And I'll move to the next slide. So when we are looking at equity, equity is providing support based on one need, right? One's need. So ensuring that everybody has a fair shot at success. Because if equality is treating everybody the same, you realize you are ignoring some individual barriers. Okay, so let's take for example, you watching a football match and behind the fence, you imagine three people of different heights trying to watch the football match. So now you realize, okay, one person, um, each person gets the same size box to stand on. Right? I don't know how many of us have gone to watch sporting events and everybody's standing at the same level, but then you ask for a box and then they give all of your books just so you can reach higher so you can watch the match properly. And then you see that there's a tall person. This tall person sees clearly. There's a medium height who is a person who barely sees, and then there's the shortest person who can't see at all. So now, would you say that we should give the same box to all of them? No. You realize you have to double the size of the box for the shorter person so that he can also reach the level of the tall person and then watch the match. For the medium person, yes, you might as well say, okay, let me just give maybe a half box so you can stand on it and also read the same height and watch that match. And this is where equity comes to play in. So the message we are leaving for all of us is that treating everyone the same, but some are still left behind, right? So you can't definitely do that. If you treat all of us the same, you see some people will still be flopping back. They won't succeed. They won't grow. They won't, move higher. But some people would also move higher. They would grow, right? So meaning we can't just treat everybody the same. What we want to say is that give everybody the support they need so that they can reach the same level of opportunity as others. Yeah. And this brings me to today's world where we need transformative leaders who practice equity because it's leaders who have transformed from the equality mindset who will tell you, okay, let's build on equity, right? And meeting people where they are and giving them the kind of support they need to succeed. So now this is ensuring that leadership structures adapt to diverse needs and perspective. So leaders must close the gaps, not just leave the field. And that is what we are trying to say. So I gave a little quote here by Mr. Simon, who said leadership is not about being in charge, it's about taking care of those in your charge. And that brings me to transformative leadership. Please, do we have any questions up to this far?
Miss Judy, there's no question in the chat. Well, I'm seeing Mahal typing, so maybe there is a question coming up.
All right then. So I'll just give in a minute so we can take in some questions.
Okay. So Mahal also says there's no question. So I think we are good to go. Unless, of course, anyone has an input or would like to raise a hand, or aside that, I think we can proceed.
Okay. Since there are no questions, we'll move to transformative leadership. And that is the second concept we are looking at. So when we talk about transformative leadership, what are we trying to say here? So we're saying that transformative leadership is a leadership style that focuses on inspiring and empowering and driving a meaningful change within teams, organizations, and communities. Now, my problem here is that most of us call ourselves leaders, but then when you come to me and you tell me you're a leader of so and so, I want to know, okay, what change are you bringing? What force are you driving? What tasks are you changing? Right. So how are the people in your care? How are they growing? Are you adding to them, or you're just taking from them? Right. Right. Currently, the company I work with, one thing they do is they give time for you to build up on yourself. They give you room to explore other options and see how you can grow and how best they can help you grow. Right. So I want to know if you're a leader, how have you sat down and thought about, okay, I want to change, make some change in my team. Maybe you saw that, okay, your team, the way they give updates, or the way they present, or they have a task, when they complete the task, the way they show the task is not good. So as a leader, how do you think you can contribute or help them grow in that aspect? When you do that, you meaning you've inputted into them, you've given them something, so they are growing, right? They are not just being there and continue making the same errors, right? You realize that as a transformative leader, the more you help your team grow, the more your business also thrives, right? So what are you doing to help them? What are you doing to cause that change or growth in your team? And that is where being a transformative leader comes in. So unlike a traditional leader who relies on authorities or hierarchy, a transformative leader is looking at collaboration, innovation, and fostering growth. What are you planning? What are you thinking? How are you thinking of collaborating with another ecosystem or another business or organization to help yours also grow? Okay. If you look at the story of Nelson Mandela, um, you realize that, okay, instead of Nelson Mandela maybe seeking revenge after years of imprisonment, you realize he came and chose reconciliation and unity to transform South Africa. And he empowered people to break barriers and then built a better future through collaborative leadership. And that is the point. So my key takeaway right now here is that transformative leadership isn't about holding power. It's about empowering others to create long lasting change. And I mean real long lasting change. That you can sit down today, or even when you're gone, someone can sit down and be like, okay, um, Mr. So so and so helped me in this, and I grew in this, and I grew in that. Right. So you realize you've caused a significant change in that particular person's life. Also, it said that leaders acting as facilitators, not just decision makers. So ensuring that everybody has a voice. And then also creating legacy that will benefit future generations. So I remember I was having a talk with someone in Germany, and then this is something that we Africans we are not proactive, and we are reactive, meaning we just react to problems at the moment, but meaning we don't even think about how to grow in the future, what how it will benefit them in the future. Right. So if you're making a decision, you need to think about the future and how it will change it also. You don't think about, okay, yeah, let me solve a problem right now and then go my way. But then you have to think, okay, what change would this benefit us in future? If we make a change right now, how would it benefit the people who will come in future? Right. And then also we need to understand that currently the world is revolving constantly, and leaders must adapt, unlearn outdated practices too. We need to let go of some practices we thought were very good, like equality, thinking that, oh yeah, I mean everybody should have the same thing. When you come to work in my company, we should all have the same level of understanding resources. We get to understand that right now in a space where the world is revolving every day, things are changing. You realize that you also need to adapt. You also need to learn, or you need to unlearn so many outdated practices. For your company to grow, you have to realize that no, you have to let go of certain things. And then also we want to make everyone know that inclusivity should not be a buzzword, but then it should be a core principle in leadership approach. Right? You including others. It should be a core principle. Now, I would want to move to who a transformative leader is. Right. So when we talk about we've spoken about transformative leadership, and now we've spoken about who a transformative leader is. And this is someone who challenges the status quo. So you don't just accept things the way they've been, but you want to definitely challenge things. Take like I'll use Microsoft for example. Oh, sorry, I think I went back. Yeah. So I'll use Microsoft for example. When Microsoft started, right, one thing I admire about Microsoft was if they had not taken time, they would probably also have been an outdated, company. But one thing they did was inclusive leadership, right? So from a rigid corporate giant to an innovative driven inclusive company. And they realized that they were struggling with internal competition. There was lack of innovation, and also there was a rigid culture in the company. So a lot of employees worked solos. Leadership was largely hierarchical, right? So we had they had to break that, and also involve other companies so that they can grow. Right now, Microsoft is one of the biggest cloud systems in the world, right? That has one of the biggest cloud systems in the world. I mean, if your company is using Azure, then you know what I'm talking about, right? So these are some of the things you need to drive at. You need to make sure that your company or who you are is not the same. You need to evolve, you need to change. You don't need to be static and think that, oh yeah, you are good where you are, so things are, things should not really change. You don't mind that, right? And I mean, we've heard a lot of companies that have been like that, who did not want to change the way things are because maybe they felt very comfortable at where they were. But right now, look at the way the world is changing with AI in the system. And if you don't also adapt to that kind of change, you realize then you'll be at the back. Now, the second one is we are looking at is empowering others. So we are here to create opportunities and growth for others to also learn from. So we should allow others to know that, okay, hey, even though we are here and you in the team, we want to also empower you, we want to see that growth in you. Also, at least with vision and purpose. So as a leader, what is your vision? What are your purpose? Is your team trusting you? Is your team, you know, okay to when they see your vision, they know that, okay, this vision I can go with it, right? They are inspired. Should they be inspired by that vision and purpose to which you are driving your company to? So these are some of the things you should look at. Also, building collaboration, which is so much important right now. Build trust through collaboration. I mean, today, just a few hours ago, I was giving a talk on building trust and collaboration between teams. And when you have your team and you are connecting with them, you are engaging with them, and you realize that that is when you get the best out of them, because they realize that, oh, you don't take them for granted, but you also respect their views. And then lastly, I'll talk about focusing on long-term impact. So meaning that, like I was saying, don't just think about solving today's problem, but you're solving a problem that can make a big time change and last very long. So it's like you identifying a problem and you want to solve it. This realize that there's a problem that would affect us or affect our day-to-day activities, and then you want to make a change with it. And that is why we're looking at the transformative leadership. So I wrote a quote here that says that true leadership empowers, collaborates, ensures equity, driving meaningful change for everyone. So we'll look at our third one, which is collaboration as a driving force. So this says that, so why collaboration is a driving force in leadership? Why is collaboration a driving force in leadership? Now, collaboration is not just the leadership skill; it's a driving force behind transformative change. And in today's world, you realize that if you're not, let's put it this way: leaders can't succeed alone. Let me just say, leaders can't succeed alone. Even we in the ecosystem, we realize that if you're trying to help people, you're trying to empower, mentor people, it's not something you can do alone. You need collaboration. You need a lot of people. You need people to come in and listen to you. All these things. So you need people. You need leaders who come together and not be solos. Right? When we all come together and we have a voice, that is when you know that, yeah, then we have the attention of a lot of people. So you then definitely leaders don't even work alone, right? And we're looking at why collaboration is a driving force. So, one, when diverse minds come together, creativity flourishes. When diverse minds come together, creativity flourishes. So, I'm taking an example of NASA and SpaceX. And you realize that these people have a partnership. So, NASA partnered with SpaceX, and then also NASA have also collaborated with private companies to accelerate space exploration and also reducing cost and rather improving innovation. So this is one thing. There is a flourishing here. Now let's come to collaboration fosters a culture where every voice matters. Where every voice matters. So I remember when I was preparing for this presentation, I was reading what happened to the elevation of Microsoft, and this was under the leadership of Nadila, who was promoting cross-team collaboration and a growth mindset. So you realize Microsoft shifted from being an internal competition to a culture of learning and inclusion. When a lot of people go there just so they can learn, right? And then also people are more invested when they feel their collaboration, their contributions matter. So when there's a collaboration, let's say, okay, you sit down with your team, you want to collaborate with them on a particular problem, you realize that they are more forthcoming. They want to share more because they realize that, oh, my boss thinks my idea is great. Oh, my boss thinks this is a good, thing, and he's listening to us and he's taking our ideas and he's putting our ideas to work. That's when you realize that, okay, now they are bringing 100% to the table. They want to come all out for you. And then lastly is a collaborative mindset allows leaders to scale solutions faster. So when you realize when you're not working alone, sorry, when you're not working alone, you realize you have a pool of solutions to a particular problem. Now you have everybody contributing, you have everybody telling you, oh, okay, I think this is perfect, I think this is okay, I think maybe we should go this direction, right? And you realize, okay, if you look at all these solutions on the table, you look at what is best for you as a leader. So collaborative mindset allows you to find solutions better. What it would take you a whole week to sit down and think about as a leader, when you share it to your team, maybe probably in 3 days or a day, you can get a solution from it. And that is what we're talking and saying why collaboration is definitely the driving force in leadership. So I would bring up my final thoughts. Um, First, in the summary, so what I would be trying to wrap up with is that leadership must evolve beyond traditional structures, right? Redefining equality means shifting to equity, and transformative leadership requires collaboration. So if we are having a call to action today, I want us to start implementing small and meaningful changes in our leadership today, or in our company or in our businesses. Also, we should challenge biases and foster an inclusive environments. Also, let's mentor, listen, and collaborate to drive impact. So thank you so much. And that brings me to the end of my presentation. So if you have any questions, we can look at that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Trudy Akotia, for your powerful presentation this afternoon. Indeed, transformative leadership is one that we must all embrace, and we must all actively collaborate and see to it that diverse people are heard, our voices matter, and that we are all able to accept and tolerate each other to achieve our various goals. That being said, I want to thank you once again. It has been really educative hearing your presentation and understanding what it means to, I mean, be equal and to also have equity. And yeah, this is a very powerful thing, and I'm very, very glad for this. Please, as we have heard our dear speaker, our dear guest lecturer, would anyone want to share something? Would anyone want to contribute, comment, ask a question? Miss Judy is here for us, so we need to make our voices heard. So Mr. Liobi is asking, how do you measure progress of a team member when it comes to transformative leadership? So Miss Judy, this is for you. How do you measure progress of a team member when it comes to transformative leadership?
So how do you measure progress as a team member when it comes to transformative leadership? I will say that one thing is having a strategic plan, right? Normally what we do is, for my company, we do have something we call um, sprint. How do I call it? We have applications which tracks progress when it comes to task giving in the company, right? So we are trying to see that, okay, if we are given a task, how are you able to come up with it? So we are able to track what these our employees do from day-to-day activities, and they delivering, you know, solutions to our problems. So if that answers his question.
Yeah, Miss Trudy, if you don't mind, I would also like to say something.
Yes, please.
Yes, so I think in your presentation you highlighted on what it means to be a transformative leader. And I think one of the things that I took note of was that a transformative leader is one that empowers, one that listens. So I think in order to tell if there's progress of a team member in terms of transformative leadership, if the person is, empowering more, listening more, giving room for other people to also thrive, then I think that that should be a measure of progress, I guess. That's what I'd like to say.
All right. To add up to what you also said, I think looking at an individual personal growth, right? So take for example, when we stated that a transformative leader is someone who helps change, right, the mindset of their employees. What we're trying to say, okay, if today, for example, I'll use myself as an example. When I started my company, when I started Shiteke, and even as well as when I got hired by my my 9 to 5 job, that's Heidelberg Materials. I mean, we came in, you know, we didn't have a lot of idea. I mean, Heidelberg Materials is a very large company. It's very big. So I came from, working in startups. So joining Heidelberg Materials gave me the kind of level to grow, to have a vast range of ideas, to know vast range of people, seek different kind of solution, have different kind of mindset. If I actually grow myself also. So if I compare, let's say 3 years ago, 4 years ago, who I was till now, I I know my boss will see me and and it's like, yeah, you've really grown. Like, you are not the same Trudy you were, at the beginning. So I would say that definitely the kind of impact you make in your team or with your colleagues or members will definitely come out on its own, right? Maybe the way they talk, the way they now answer questions, the way they make a presentation. So if you are inputting into them, definitely you will see that all these things will change, right? And I feel like that is how right now my company is able to measure my growth, because now they are able to give me they've given me courses to help me build up myself, included me in teams that have different diversities and different mindsets. So now the way you're looking at things, first, maybe if you're looking at things, you're looking at things from maybe a Ghanaian perspective or in your small, four walls. But now you have to think global. You have to think, okay, if you're making a change, how are you making a change throughout the world? So that would be a kind of way that right now my company is able to measure my growth and measure my change right now. Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you for that, Miss Trudy. Mr. Leobi, I hope that your question has been well answered. If not, maybe you might want to add something, or maybe let us know that your question is answered. Or if anyone else, still the floor is open, so you can just leave a message in the chat, or you can raise a hand and I would allow you to be able to make a submission. But then, Miss Judy, I would also want to say something. I would want to ask a question about the transformative leadership that's been the center of our discussion this afternoon. So I know that different leadership styles are, applied in different situations. Can that be said for transformative leadership as well?
If you look at, definitely yes to your question, that leadership styles definitely applies to if you're looking at transformative leadership. So if you're looking at other leadership styles that can be added, you see servant leadership, we have autocratic leadership, coaching leadership, and so on. So a transformative leadership is assessed by its impact, right? So leadership as a whole is also evaluated based on how well a leader is also able to adapt, right? So you having different challenges, teams, organizational needs. So it's how you are able to adapt to it. I don't know if that answers your question. And yes, I would also add that you know an access to leaders' progress is also based on definitely how they adapt to things, and then how they understand things. So your style of work in every scenario would definitely bring out a different kind of leadership in you. I don't know if that makes sense. Because
Yeah, that is very much okay.
for example, my team, there are times when I am very transformative. There are times when I have to be autocratic. There are times when I have to be, be the kind of servant. There are times where I have to be democratic. So definitely, I feel like there are different leadership styles that come to play when you're a leader.
Beautiful. Thank you for that, Miss Judy. Mr. Liobi, please, you are unmuted. You can contribute. Thank you.
So let me say thank you to Trudy for the lesson learned. I just wanted to add up to the question that I asked. In Africa, most often we feel we are doing good as a leader, especially we were executive director, we conceive certain information for our team members. It doesn't help the organization to grow to say only the leader can be here before this particular thing happens. Now, asking a question, how do we measure progress? So as a leader, like Trude said, you should be a very good listener. Sometimes you dedicate responsibility that you as capable of doing to know if even in your absence, if you're not around, if team members, that's why we're talking about transformative leadership. If team members were able to execute that particular task that is given, if they are absent and people grow along with time. So if you have a team member, sometimes you chair meeting, most often you dedicate responsibility. Hey, I may not be here this season, so I may be in another area. You should be able to chair the meeting and come up with the meeting minutes. Let me come and see it. Let me know what I will achieve in my absence. And then that's how you transform people along with time when they are with you in organization or in businesses. But in Africa, it's different. So that most often the young people nowadays, we try to enlighten them and look, those days wherein you just conceive information, you just feel as a boss, as a leader, only you should be there before everything work. Those are things that you should try to do away with. The reason why the Europeans and other people are far ahead of us, because they are always in the habit of transforming things, sharing ideas, building on ideas. As you may mention Microsoft. If Microsoft creator will only considering only itself, but then you're not taking ideas from other people to advance, to build more and more. So in Africa, we need to change that mindset that as a leader, yeah, I have to keep the information because if I give it out to other members of the team, I will not be important. Those are things that are not good. I just want to talk to. Thank you, Trudy, for the license.
Thank you so much. Just as just I was saying, I wanted to add something whilst he was talking, and I realized that when we have a company, right? I mean, if you look at the African mindsets, most of our education system is not tailored for us to bring in thinking, right? There's no shaping of thinking and making you try and think and solve a problem. And like he was saying, with the way that Europeans have um, grown faster, have moved faster, yeah, you can see that difference between them and us. So one thing I would also add is that as a leader, we can also, I don't know, shape the way our employees think, put them into the thinking process where they can bring out solutions that can, put in a long life change in the country or in your business or whatever you do. So we adding that, shaping them into thinking, making them understand that some of the principles of your organization, that you want to foster good, you want to foster thinking stages, you want them to just cause that within them, so that when they are sitting, when you come into a meeting, my company does this thing where we have a session that every time you come in, you have to think of maybe a solution, or give a solution to a problem you've thought about. It doesn't even have to be related to work, but then the fact that you've seen it is making them that, okay, you are trying to foster some good, you're trying to be in that thinking process mode, that you want to change something, right? And this puts us on our toes, believe me. So before you have the meeting, before that meeting will start, for weeks or months, you've been thinking, okay.
Miss Trudy, I think there was a problem with your line. I can't hear you. Okay, so she's having a bit of a technical challenge. I'm sorry about that, everyone. So yes, before that, I think I would like to share a word about YGLN to those that are not familiar with the work of YGLN. So YGLN in full, that's the Young Global Leaders Network, is a non-governmental organization that is founded and has presence in over 25 African countries. The work of YGLN is basically youth development, youth empowerment, and youth, I mean, skills acquisition. So then we are into uniting the youth of Africa and equipping them with the requisite skills so that they are able to thrive. And with our masterclass events, we seek to broaden the horizon of the youth on important topics and also with important skills that are very much needed in today's ever-changing world, so that the youth of today can be better prepared in their fields of endeavor. So this is basically a little about the background of YGLN, and you can find more information on www.yglnetwork.com. And yes, you can join us too by becoming an associate member, or you can become a regular member, or any of the levels of membership. You can find details of this at the website that I just shared. I think we have Miss Trudy back. Miss Trudy, if you're here, sorry for the interruption, and you can continue.
Okay. Yeah, I think I was giving my answers. It was off my head, so right now I've kindly forgotten what I was even saying. But yeah, if anybody has any other question, you can let me know.
Okay, so I think we lost some members when you went away, but then we still have a couple over here. So if anyone still has anything to say or anything to add, then please, the floor is yours before we finally bring this meeting to an end.
So thank you,
Yeah.
and let me say thank you to Teddy again. We would love to hear more of these messages. We want to spread it on to most of our young generation are coming out nowadays. Knowledge is power, that we can always say. But if you're not getting the rightful information, it doesn't shift the way you think. Some of us who have been seeing leadership in different form, we are trying to we are work with different institutions, different kinds of leaders. And I tell you, it's good that we spread the issue of transformative leadership over people. If you are a good entrepreneur and it's working well for you, it's good that you encourage 2, 3 persons to get involved in it. The impact will be, yes, they will harness resources, but they'll also be contributing to livelihood, for example. If somebody is into agriculture, for example, you are being the entrepreneur in that sector, for example, you try to pass on the issue of transformative leadership. Oh yeah, you can start a business in agriculture. You see my own business is doing well. You can do this, and anything you need or any support, you call on to me. if that person starts to do well in agriculture, for example, yes, they will get the money, but you make in your community that you people are having that particular product in self-sufficient and produce will be available for people to buy. But most of the nowadays, like I said before, leaders are not thinking in that direction. They just feel that, oh yeah, I should be the only one in that area. As I see, you have monopoly in that area. So, like I said, thank you to Teddy again. We always look to passing on this kind of information to the young generation that are coming in so that we can be able to transform Africa. I tell people now and then, it pains me to see our brothers and sisters going on water just to go to the Western people land, Western people area. If they say we don't have soil in our area, if they say we don't have resources in our area, we're fighting to go to Europe, we're fighting to go to America, Asia. We can transform our own area into paradise that we will enjoy and allow all of people to come. So it's just the issue of knowledge. Africans, we need more knowledge and more encouragement to venture into things that will empower us and make us self-sufficient as human beings and Africans. That's just what I want to thank you again.
Thank you for that contribution, sir. So we are very grateful that you set time off your busy schedules to join us. And to Ms. Trudy Akotia, we would like to extend our warmest gratitude to you for honoring our call and delivering as a guest lecturer on this very important topic. I hope that when we call on you, you'd want answer us once more. And yes, this video, this webinar would be available on our YouTube. So those that couldn't join us would have the benefit of joining and listening in to whatever happened. On behalf of YGLN Network, I'd also like to thank those that joined us. You are very much appreciated because without you, this wouldn't have been a success. And yeah, I would allow for a minute more to hear if there is any contribution or there is something else that you would like to add to our topic. If not, then I'll call for an end of this webinar. Yeah, Mahal, you are also welcome. Thank you too. So uh, if there is something more, you can leave it in the chat or just raise a hand. If not, then this meeting would come to an end. Thank you, Ms. Trudy, for this powerful presentation about transformative leadership and bridging equality. Thank you so much, everyone, too, for making the time to join us on this important webinar. All right. So Mahal is typing. Okay. Miss Rudy saying, thank you, everyone. This opened the gap for me to learn as well. I appreciate everyone for taking the time. We appreciate you too for your time and for your insights and your powerful presentation. I very much liked your presentation and how colorful it was. It was more of like communicating on our very topic. You are welcome. Yes, Miss Trudy's details are also within the webinar. So if you'd like to follow her on LinkedIn, or engage further, her details are much available. So you can connect with Miss Trudy. So Mahal is also saying if there is any meeting or event speaker, you can just see email to join, sir. All right. Very much will do. Thank you so much. All right. So Karen is also saying thank you, leaders, for the presentation. It's opening a wider view for leaders in Africa and worldwide. Thank you so much. Yes. Uh, uh, very thankful to Miss Trudy and to you all for this. And yeah, it's opening a wider view for leaders in Africa and worldwide, and to us also youth that are striving to make a difference in our various fields of endeavor. Thank you all. At this point, I'll call for a close of the meeting and looking forward to future engagements. My name is James. I'm a project officer too with YGLN. So thank you so much for your time and for joining the webinar.